Just another day and more terrible Sixers, Daryl Morey ideas. Thank God the Phillies are red hot right now. That could keep my temperature down on this Sixers offseason. When I tell you they're bad rumors, when we discuss the bad rumors of the day, damn, that's all I got to say. But again, Nick Castellanos, yes, Castellanos, for that person that doesn't appreciate my mispronunciation. Big walk-off win for the Phillies last night as well. Trending in the AM, we're live, taking your thoughts and opinions on all things Philly sports in 60 seconds. And a very good morning, everybody, and welcome all to Trending in the AM right here on Edge of Philly Sports. We are live. Facebook, YouTube, Twitter, Twitch, you know the drill. Wherever you are, do what I'm doing right now. Share this show out. Share it to one. Share it to all. Tell a friend. Tag a friend. This is the #1 morning show in Philadelphia. The only morning show where your opinions actually matter. And, that's basically what this show is about. You, the people, giving you what you want, a place to talk, a place to converse, a place where your opinion can be heard on a regular basis. I am your host, Phil Stiefel, every single morning here. One more click, two more clicks, and we are set to go today. Guys, we got a jam-packed show, as we do every single morning here on the show. We got more god-awful Sixers rumors to discuss today. The rumors just keep rolling in every day, and it's going to. Now that the NBA Finals have been completed, we are going to see more and more and more terrible, terrible rumors on a daily basis. But you know what? That's just the nature of the game. That's just the way it goes. Terrible, terrible rumors floating with the Sixers yesterday that we are going to cover. And, of course, we are going to talk the Phillies, another huge victory, red-hot Philadelphia Phillies, with a come-from-behind game last night, walk-off win in fashion against, the San Diego Padres or the whoever they are. The San Diego Padres, Robert Suarez, another blown save against the Phillies. We just seem to have his number. Always good morning. You believe in me. You don't believe in Joe Hendry. You believe in Phil Stiefel. I appreciate that. I do. Good morning, Joe. How you doing this morning? Let's have a day. It might be hot out. The Phillies may be red hot. The Sixers rumors may be dreadful. But you know what we are? We're going to have a good day somehow. I'm not sure how we're going to have a good day, but we're going to have a day today here on this show and in life and in general, because every day is a good day, right? Every day is a good day in the neighborhood. That's the way I look at it, Joe. So that's that. Orange Cassidy sucks. Yes. Orange juice stinks. Yeah. Overrated. I don't want to turn this into a wrestling show, Mitch. I know I made a wrestling reference there when you said you believe in me, but I don't want to turn this into a wrestling show. I don't. We're not talking wrestling. So your opinions matter. Unless you want to talk wrestling, then I want nothing to do with it. At least at the start of the show. If you want to bring in random topics like wrestling, you got to wait till at least the second half of the show till we completely go off the rails. So anyway, I want to start by touching on some of these Sixers rumors from yesterday. And again, like I said, the Phillies, Nick Castellanos, 4 for 5 last night, including the walk-off double to win the game for the Phillies last night. Aaron Nola didn't have his best stuff, but he wasn't bad. 6 innings, 3 runs he gave up last night. But the offense showed up again and get some home cooking, and we're 2-0 right away. Get a team like the Padres in town. We're back to 2 in a row. But Sixers rumors yesterday. Literally after the show, I get to work, I turn on Twitter, and I start doing post-show prep and sharing and promotional stuff instead of working at my pizza shop. And the first thing I see online is that the Sixers – hold on a second here. Because the Sixers might need to hire David Archeri. If the current rumors are correct. First and foremost, the first rumor that the Sixers worked out former first-round pick of the – I don't even remember who he first got drafted with. The Houston Rockets, maybe? Sam Dekker, who has played 1 minute of NBA basketball in the last 6 years. He's played 1 minute of registered basketball in the NBA, and he got worked out. Former first-round draft pick of Daryl Morey. Again, now we might be overreacting to Sam Dekker. Maybe it was just a favor for an agent. I don't know. But the fact that Sam Dekker is getting even a workout, favor or not, by the Sixers, just tells you how dreadful of an offseason this potentially could shake out. The next rumor that started to grab legs yesterday was one not Mikal Bridges, often confused, and I've even maybe messed it up at times, but the other Bridges, Miles Bridges, felon Miles Bridges, well, I think it was actually dropped, so maybe he's not a felon, is on the Sixers short list of candidates to bring in this offseason. If some of their top-tier choices don't work out in their favor, that the Sixers are monitoring the Miles Bridges situation. You'd rather talk wrestling. See, I don't want to talk Sixers. I don't. But when I see the Sixers rumored to be interested in a person like Miles Bridges, it brings me to a real strong dilemma. Miles Bridges beat his woman, baby mama, abused his kids, supposedly. I think that was part of the charges and stuff like that. Miles Bridges is a terrible human being. Miles Bridges also is a really solid NBA basketball player. A type of player that the Sixers team realistically needs. And I feel so contradictory on multiple fronts because, one, I want the Sixers to be better. Miles Bridges would make them better. Two, I think he's a terrible person, want nothing to do with him. And anybody involved in domestic violence of any kind should have no place playing professional sports. But then on the flip side, I believe everybody deserves a second chance. But on the flip side of that, I don't want to be the team that gives him the second chance. But on the flip side of that, I didn't stop rooting for the Phillies when they kept the Double Herrera on this team. I did not stop rooting for the Eagles when they brought on Michael Vick. Hell, I cheered Michael Vick. I really, really struggle with, in theory, the conversation of what to do with Miles Bridges if he was brought here. And I shared this out yesterday, and people said they would never watch the team again. And I think that's a valid opinion, a valid feeling to have. But on the flip side, you cheer for the jersey, not the name on the back of the jersey. Do you really think Sixers fans would stop cheering the Sixers just because of one player? Like I said, it didn't stop the Eagles. It didn't stop the Phillies. Now, eventually they did move on from a double, and Michael Vick's a different scenario to an extent. I'm in a pickle, mentally speaking, because everything I say will contradict the next thing I say, which will contradict the next thing I say. And it's frustrating. Other Sixers rumor, not really a rumor, more of just a theory, that OG Anunoby from the Knicks is not content maybe staying in New York and might actually test free agent waters elsewhere, Woodchers elsewhere, would you be willing to give OG Anunoby a max contract? That's the third room. But in reality, after yesterday, the real Sixers rumors, there's a general scenario where the first three names brought to Philly are Miles Bridges, Paul George, and Sam Dekker. And that could be a disaster. What's up, Adam? Good morning to you. Thanks for tuning into Fairway to Heaven. We had a spirited discussion about Scotty Scheffler, Bryson DeChambeau, and Rory McIlroy yesterday. Last night, Jason, I, and Steve. Good morning, Barb. How you doing? I'm sorry. I didn't get permission. Can I call you Barb? It's just, I like to abbreviate. So Barb, a pork roll, egg, and cheese bagel. You're going to hate me. You might unsubscribe to me now. Pork roll, excessively overrated. I don't know. I worked at a pizza shop that we started doing breakfast on the weekends. We're talking back in the late 90s. And I don't know, something about hungover, late teenage year Phil slapping pork roll on the flat top griddle and the smell of it gives me nightmares. I actually liked it, but hungover Phil cooking pork roll on the grill at 7 a.m. Made me want to gag all the time. So I became anti-pork roll because even if I smell it now, I think back to 1999 Phil making a pork roll sandwich. And it just sorry, I can't do pork roll. I just can't. Player-wise, I like him. You're talking about Miles Bridges. Would fit this team well and replace Tobias. Belief-wise. And see, and Joe, and this is why my mind is in a pretzel. It's all twisted in knots. Because, in theory, the player, Miles Bridges, is exactly what we're looking for. And you're going to get him cheaper than he would be getting paid if he didn't have the personal problem. And again, I did not stop rooting for the Eagles when they brought on Michael Vick. And I am a huge dog person. I got 4 dogs right now. 3 of them that were fosters, 1 adopted. 2 of them heavily abused. Okay? And we've worked hard to bring them back to, being great dogs and to have some confidence in human beings. But I didn't stop rooting for the Eagles because of Michael Vick. I didn't stop cheering for the Phillies because of Odubel Herrera. I hated Odubel Herrera. I wanted him nothing to do with my team. But I wasn't going to stop rooting for my favorite team because of one player on the team. It's tough. Phillies are comfortable at home, and their record shows it. Dave, you're 1,000% right. I mean, and again, I am not making excuses for the Phillies' downward tick. It's a 162-game season. There's going to be downward ticks in the season for the Phillies. But when you travel the amount the Phillies had to travel on the road for a 2-week stretch, they were going to get gassed on the road. Getting home-cooked meals by their wives or girlfriends, sleeping in their own bed, playing in front of their home crowd, even though the home crowd traveled well on those road trips. Getting back to the bank. And we always say in baseball, it doesn't matter if you win the division. It doesn't matter home field advantage. It matters. Nobody wants to play in Philadelphia against the Phillies. And the Phillies are better at home than on the road. So it's proof in the pudding right there for sure. Michael Bennett assaulted a crippled old lady at the Super Bowl, and Eagles fans were like, yeah. Fans tend to look and turn a blind eye to certain things. And domestic violence is something I just don't stand for. But again, one player, I don't know if one player, I see it, and I again, I don't want to say those people are wrong. If one player being signed to your team means you're going to turn that team off and not be a fan, I think you're validated and feeling that way. But to me, one player isn't going to make me stop watching a team that I've cheered for 40 years. It's going to make me frustrated. It's going to change my overall excitement level. But on the flip side, I also strongly believe that every human being deserves a second chance. I've given people with checkered past a second chance at my pizza shop because I believe everyone gets that chance. Sometimes I feel those certain crimes, I just don't want to be the person giving them that chance. The Odubel situation angered me beyond all belief. I hated him before the charges. I almost boxed up all me Phillies gear. Yeah, I get that out. And I was right there with you. When he got suspended, I'm like, don't bring him back, just cut him. Then I found out you can't cut him when he was suspended. I'm like, well, don't bring him back on the team once the suspension's over. They brought him back. Now, the Odubel situation is a little different. Excuse me. I don't know if anybody else is suffers from allergies, but man, my allergies are dreadful right now. Dreadful. Odubel Herrera was not a key cog on the Phillies when he was brought back. He was a platoonish player and center fielder, a shell of his all-star former self. I don't even think he ever was a good player. I think he just got hot at the right time. So if you bring in Miles Bridges, he is going to be a guy scoring 20, 25 points a game. He's going to be one of the focal points of the offense. He's going to be one of the quote-unquote stars of the team. So there's a different situation. That's why I kind of trying to draw the parallel to Michael Vick, even though Michael Vick was dog-related. Miles Bridges is domestic violence-related. But on the flip side, again, I feel like I'm contradicting myself. I forgive you on the pork roll, but don't forget there's egg, cheese, and bagel with it. That's what, we used to make pork roll sandwiches at the pizza shop I worked at in high school and college. And it's just something about drunk, hungover, probably still drunk sometimes, Phil, having to grill pork roll on a flat top at 7 a.m. in the morning. Like, it just, I'm having nightmares right now. My stomach's already turning from whatever. And now I'm thinking of that. And it's just making me gross. Yes, you can call me Barb. Yeah, thank you. Sorry, I don't know why I said Barb. I've always said Barbara, but I just said Barb by mistake. Did Ravens fans stop liking the Ravens with the? I think that's fair. Ben Roethlisberger is considered an icon in Pittsburgh, and I mean we know what he did. Fans do turn a blind eye to a lot of stuff, and it's not right, Adam, to turn a blind eye. On the flip side, everybody gets a second chance, at least in theory. So I don't know. I feel like these rumors are setting us up. And it's not even just the rumors. It's the fact that the type of players you're seeing rumored to Philly, not the best of the best. Aging superstars, guys that haven't played in the league in a while, guys with checkered past. Like, you're not seeing the elite of the elite linked in any form to the Sixers. And that's concerning to me. What's up, Steve? Good morning to you. No Miles Bridges at all. I'd rather OG. And see, and there's the thing. Like, and I want to bring up OG Anunoby as well today because we haven't really talked about him. I assumed he was going to stay in New York, and he might. And OG might be pulling a Paul George and using the media to increase his leverage with the team he plays for. Paul George is going to stay with the Clippers, most likely, in my opinion. He's using the Sixers as leverage. OG Anunoby might be using teams like the Sixers for leverage to get the max deal from the New York Knicks. Now, I don't see OG Anunoby as a max player. I don't think he's a max player. But there's a lot of players in the NBA that get max deals, kind of like Tobias Harris, because that's what teams do. They feel the need to give out max contracts. It's not necessary, but it is. I know my man Scotty from DSM Media, he put out a tweet. He's doing shorts on what needs to change in the NBA and big picture-wise. Something that needs to change is not giving out max contracts to non-max players. But Phil will never get. Yeah, I believe everyone gets a second chance, but pork roll does not get a second chance. Not at all. Just the smell. There's a couple things in life. The smell of pork roll is one of them. It still gives me. I've repressed memories that give me bad memories. Also, Southern Comfort gives me bad memories. As a woman, I can't cheer for guys that do to the. As a man, I can't cheer for it either. Double wasn't a great player anyway. The Phillies were bad back then. But would you hang up your fandom completely on a team because one player was on? Like, did you stop rooting for the Phillies because Odubel was here? Would you stop rooting for the Sixers completely because Miles Bridges was here? I mean, I host a sports talk show every morning, talking Philly sports. Would I be able to go an entire season without talking the Sixers just because Miles Bridges was here? And I don't think I could. No, there's no redemption arc for pork roll at all. Joe, what's up? You changed your profile picture. Phil, you turned a blind eye to inmate Scotty Scheffler. Yeah, that's right. I gave Scotty Scheffler a second chance, even though he ran a cop over, dragged him 400 yards, 4 football fields, ripped up his pants and stuff like that, that $80 uniform. On June 29, 2022, Bridges was arrested in L.A. for felony domestic injury. Yes, I know the situation. I know all the stories. I know he had a second thing happen, where I guess he broke one of his, his probationary rules or something like that as well. I know he's a terrible human being, but he's a baller, and he's linked to Philly right now. The Sixers, to me, is the one Philly team that players don't seem to want to come to. Phillies, Eagles, and now the Flyers, again, players actually want to come back for those teams, but I don't see it with the Sixers. And I think that's a fair question. Are the Sixers the least desirable franchise to play for in Philly for free agents? And that's actually worthy of a write-down. Power rankings I'm going to use as the title. Most desirable team to play for. And guys, if you're free, go to Delaware News Journal. Jim is up for Delaware Realtor of the Year. I think that's what the title of the contest is. I just voted for Jim. Jim is my realtor. He helped me find this fantastic place. Go online, find Jim, and make sure you vote for him, guys. I'd greatly appreciate it. I wanted a Double out of town, just like I wanted Joe Girardi out of town. I wanted a Double out for being a bad baseball player, and then he was a domestic abuser, so I wanted him out of town even more. But I didn't stop rooting for the Phillies because he was here. That's the thing. Signing Miles Bridges would hit different. That's a low blow. That's a low blow. We're 22 minutes into this show, and it didn't take long for an off-color joke that I feel bad laughing at, but I did laugh at it. Not an excuse, but at least Vic paid his dues. I always believe that as well as Al. Not only did he pay his dues, he did the crime. He paid for it with the time. He served the longest jail sentence ever for that crime at the time. I don't know if it's changed or not since then. He definitely seemed like he made improvements. He became better. I believe Miles Bridges did something again. Maybe he broke a restraining order or something like that. I forget. I was reading up on it yesterday, but I forget what I read now on what he did that, the follow-up to it. But at least Vic seemed to not only pay the time or pay his dues for the time, but he also seemed to be a rehab individual and human being. Like, I believe Michael Vick when he said he was sorry. I believed him. When he said he wanted to be a better person, I believed him. It does not justify what he did. What he did is one of the worst things a human being could do. Torturing and killing dogs for money. I mean, awful. On November 3rd, he pled no contest. Yeah. I get it. Charges were dropped, no contest. He's got probation. He's a terrible person, but he's a really good basketball player. He's the style of basketball player we Sixers fans have wanted. But he's a terrible person. Pork roll is greater than Miles Bridges. I don't know about that. That's a tough one. Does that mean Miles and the Sixers keep the? Oh my God, Marshawn, dude, did you just wake up today knowing that I was going to bring this up, and you probably got like 4 more jokes written down, ready to go here? Like I don't even know. Oh my God, like Marshawn, you're killing me this morning. What's up, Tech? How you doing, my man? Quint. Quint. Marshawn's in a special zone today. Pork roll is a better breakfast meat than bacon. Thank God you go back to work tomorrow, because then we don't have to hear your asinine comments like this anymore, Thieves. Your opinions actually matter on this show, except for when you besmirch the word bacon and the food of bacon. You never, ever besmirch bacon. Bacon is what we like to call elite. I'm allergic to Orange Cassidy. You really don't like Orange Cassidy at all. Damn, I got to write down today. Great start to. You got to write down today. A write down, dude. I'm giving you some. I'm trying to help you win. Realtor of Delaware of the first state, my man. Tomorrow, I didn't see it till this morning, right before the show. But tomorrow, I'm not doing tomorrow's show. Big Al is filling in tomorrow. God only knows what Big Al will talk about tomorrow. But Friday show, I will make sure I put a link to the voting in the show. We're going to try to get Jim to win Realtor of Delaware. Bryce Harper is 1,000 times the recruiter than Joel Embiid is, no doubt. I think how much of it is that people don't want to play here because they see an organization like the Sixers being dreadful, and how much of it is they don't want to play with Joel Embiid. People aren't scared of the Philly fans and the Philly media to play with the Phillies, hence all the money being thrown out to big stars. Nola gets crapped on all the time, but Nola State. Wheeler State. Bryce Harper is way better at recruiting, massively. People want to come to the Philadelphia Eagles. Howie Roseman's just a great businessman and doesn't keep them all. I got a topic. We're gonna do it. Might be all of next week. It might be just Friday. I haven't decided yet. We're gonna do a Howie Roseman appreciation show, or maybe week soon, because we got all this Sixers drama and Sixers problems and Sixers dreadfulness that I think it makes me want to appreciate Howie Roseman a little bit more than I already do. We're miles away from crossing bridges with, oh my God. Look at that one. Did that take you 3 days to come up with that one? We are miles away from this being an issue. But I think it brings up the issue of Miles Bridges, the person, and would you want him on your franchise? Even if you weren't a Sixers fan. Yeah, I am defaming pork roll. Absolutely. If Miles puts hands on Tyrese, does that mean it's a low? Oh, my God. Siakam, OG, Healed, Valanciunas, and Oubre with Embiid and Maxey would make me happy. Steve dropping one right now. What happened? How did I get hooked on there? Pascal Siakam, meh. OG, sure. Healed, meh. Valanciunas, the backup center, sure. Kelly Oubre, I don't think Kelly Oubre will be back, Steve. I don't. I think Kelly Oubre is going to get a contract that prices him out of what Daryl Morey is capable of doing with him. I would love Kelly Oubre back, but I wouldn't be shocked. Pork roll, egg, and cheese on an everything bagel. I've turned into an everything bagel person. I hated everything bagels at first. I start to love them. It's greater than beer and a hot dog at a baseball game. I never get hot dogs at a baseball game, so yeah. But a beer at a baseball game is going to cost you. You could buy 40 pork roll sandwiches, with the cost of one beer at a baseball game, just so you know. But pork roll, no. Good morning, Eric. What is up? Salute. As usual, Phil mispronounces realtor. It's not mispronouncing. It's my accent. When I mispronounce a name purposely, it's just my accent coming through. Realtor. It's just like Wooder. Realtor, Wooder. It's the same thing. Now, when I say Aqua Bowman, that's a mispronunciation. When I say Bazudenhu, that's a mispronunciation. Realtor, that's just my accent. Just so you know. No, and that's what I said. Realtor. That's how you say it. I'm pronouncing it phonetically, just with an accent. If the Sixers sign Miles, do we burn all bridges? Oh, my God. Stop, please. Deeps, tier S on sports. Terrible foodie. Yeah. Is Jim related to the one Archie? I have no idea. I doubt it though. But maybe. What's today's day? I'm losing track of days. Sorry, mister. It is Juneteenth. I totally forgot till about 7:00 last night that my niece Emma turned 20. I can't keep track. I can't believe it's already the back half of June already. Like that. Miles Bridges is the Kevin Nash of Joel's Shawn Michaels. Really? Bacon is more versatile for pizza and other dishes, but pork is the breakfast king. I strongly disagree. I remember when the Eagles signed Vic, I just started my season tickets. The picketers would dwindle more and more as he won. Yeah. It's funny. I got a Michael Vick story here with Al with the pizza shop. Because obviously, huge fan of the Eagles. Have been my entire life. I opened my pizza shop in March of 08, just before Michael Vick became an Eagle. And we struggled at the pizza shop massively at first. When I say we were slow, most people would have packed in after 6 months of the way my business was going. But I pushed through. I lived broke for years at end to get it to where it needed to be, where it is now. But in the very beginning, it was a struggle. And we had this very regular customer that would come in every Friday night and spend about $50. And a $50 order is important now. But a $50 order in 2008 to me was a massive deal. And he came in the first Friday after Vic signed, and he asked me what I thought. I'm like, it's terrible, but, whatever. It is. He's like, you're not going to stop watching the Eagles. I'm like, I'm not going to stop watching the Eagles. I'm not going to cheer for him, the person, but I'm not going to stop rooting for my Eagles. He's like, well, if you don't tell me right now that you're going to turn off and never watch the Eagles again, I'll never come in your pizza shop again. And I'm like, look, sir, I can't put away 30 years of fandom for one player that might not ever see the field. Let's be honest, we didn't know what Michael Vick was going to be. And he said, well, I'll never come in here again. And let me tell you something. He never came into my pizza shop again. And I saw on social media him burning all his Eagles stuff. Turned out he was a dog trainer for the police department. He didn't have a problem sending his daughter in for a job, which I gave her a job. And he didn't have a problem, with that. But he never came in my shop again. And my opinion on Michael Vick not canceling my fandom cost me a regular customer. So that's why I'm torn massively. Which is worse in sports? Players get caught gambling or players violate the gun policy? We're talking domestic violence with Miles Bridges and dogfight with Michael Vick, but of course we got the gambling and the gun policies and whatnot as well. They're issues as well. The gambling stuff makes no sense to me. When you get caught gambling as an athlete, you've got one person to blame, yourself. You're stupid. It's the dumbest thing in the world. Because all you got to do is just not gamble. It's so simple not to do it, it seems to me. And the gun policy, when you bring a weapon to a locker room, just leave your gun at home. Seriously. People don't want to deal with the media. So this is back to the comment about Bryce versus Joel, the Sixers versus the Phillies. People want to play here for the Phillies. People don't want to play here for the Sixers. And I don't know if it's the media per se. Is there a scenario where people don't want to come to Philadelphia to play basketball because of Joel Embiid? And I think someone brought that up earlier this week, that people don't want to play here because they don't want to play for a team that the ball rolls through, the offense rolls through Joel Embiid. No, but I guarantee he'll be blowing up the comments of that show 1,000%. Yo, what's up, Brett? How you doing today? Parson is, I don't know, on fire, but he's on something. When do we get a Kenny Never. The day he gets cut, we'll have appreciation. Pork rolls, the SGF breakfast. It's time to give pork roll some respect. No. Steve thinks Sixers got money like Cobra Commander to make all those signings. Yeah. We as free Mr. Sam. Yeah, absolutely. Okay. No hot dog at a ball game. No, when I go to a Phillies game, the first thing I do is I find the Hatfield Italian sausage stand and get myself a sausage with onions and peppers on a roll, grab a beer. That's my go-to. There's nothing quite like a Hatfield sausage at a ball game. Sometimes I'll get two. I'm a fatty. I can't help it. Maury's shopping in the reformed bin like the Sixers ain't got money. They brought in Sam Dekker for a workout, for God's sake. What does that tell you about the plan? Again, Sam Dekker, you could bring in any former NBA player to work out, but you had to bring in another former Rocket because Daryl Morey's got two moves. James Harden and former Houston Rockets. Oh my God, stop. You're going to hell for real. I'm going with you, but man, you are really going to hell. Yeah. Hot dogs are so overrated. They are. They really are. a good Chicago hot dog style with quickie. We just had it at my brother-in-law's for Father's Day. What's it called? Jim's Dogs. Like he got a catered tray. That's what he wanted for Father's Day. A huge catered tray of hot dogs with the chili and stuff. I think it's Jim's, some big famous place that now just does catering. They don't have to shop in, Delaware County anymore. And they're good. But man, my brother-in-law is like knocking down 4 or 5 of them at a time. And like, oh my God, these are so great. I'm like, they're decent. They're nothing special. I mean, I'm eating them, but they're not special. When Mike Vick sees a hot dog, oh my God, stop. Marsha, no mas. I can't take anymore. Very happy to see there's already reports aren't. Are there? I haven't seen those. I've seen the reports saying that they were going to talk about it. This is the most accurate statement that you've ever made. Hot dogs are just, hot dogs are overrated, man. They really are. Hit me. Oh my, no, stop. Please, I appreciate that. Well, that guy sounds a little ridiculous to you guys. Which guy? No, you're talking about the pizza shop guy. Yeah, it is. I took down notes on customers I want to complain about. But man, yeah. Vic wasn't just dogfighting. He was literally killing. Absolutely. But it wasn't going to make me not to put away 30 years of fandom. It wasn't. Miles Bridges and Kevin Porter Jr. is no more. Ownership is much better for the Phillies and the Sixers. Absolutely agree with you. They have a better recruiter in Bryce Harper than Joel Embiid. They're a team willing to do whatever it takes to win. The Sixers only care about money. They don't care about winning, really. I think there's a drastic difference between the Phillies and the Eagles and the Sixers. The perception amongst players, if you polled 100 NBA players about grading why they would or wouldn't want to play for the Sixers versus grade 100 baseball players with the Phillies and 100 football players on the Eagles, the grades, the playability for the franchise would be much, much, much lower than the Sixers and the other teams in the city. Joel's become a great team player. I don't get it. He is, but I don't know. Something about Joel. People just don't want to be here. When was the last time a star said, I want to play for the Sixers? Harden wanted out right away. Butler wanted out. Harris only stayed because he got paid. I mean, Maxey was drafted. Harden was traded here. Ben Simmons couldn't wait to get out of town. You don't see Phillies begging to get out of town. The only reason why Hassan Reddick left was because he and Howie Roseman couldn't agree on an extension. And look at Hassan Reddick. He's holding out from the Jets right now. Reports from New York Jets camp saying that he lied to the Jets that he would show up while renegotiating. People want to play here. Despite the media, despite the unnecessarily bad reputation Philly fans have, because I don't think we're that bad compared to other cities. Despite all that, people want to play here for the Phillies and the Eagles. They don't want to play here for the Sixers. Players don't want to play here because anyone with 2 eyes can see this ownership group is, absolutely agree, garbage. Does the B in Maddie's B stand for? Yeah, I was going to say a different B word, but okay. Even the name Dekker even Dekker is spelled wrong. It should be D-E-C-K. Marshawn starting the weekend on. Yeah, exactly. I think it's 5 o'clock somewhere for Marshawn right now. Morning also dealing with the marital problems. Exactly. When your opinion on what's your Jimmy John's? It's okay. Hot dogs are overrated. I mean, I like a good hot dog grilled at a nice burnt hot dog at a barbecue. A little ketchup, mustard, whatever, relish, whatever fixings are there. Sure, I'll eat 1 or 2 of them. But realistically, hot dogs are drastically overrated. Stop. I'd rather talk about Miles Bridges than Orange Cassidy. I'm just going to go right over his comments now. Appears to be a Drake, something like that. I don't know. Hot dogs are not overrated. They are celebrated on America's Day, except they banned Joey Chestnut for supporting, vegan meat. So even that doesn't mean anything anymore. Pork roll is greater than hot dogs. Disagree, though. The Camden Sixers has a ring to it, not a championship ring, though. If the Sixers offseason is max contract Paul George, max contract Miles Bridges, and Sam Dekker, just move them. Just move them. I think it's time, to read this one before we catch up on the comments, because I think this ad read is directed just at you, Marshawn. Marshawn, you better call David R. Cherry, the Cherry Law Firm at 610-565-0300, or go to cherryinjurylaw.com and submit a form to get in contact with him, Marshawn. Because after your comments today, you might need some representation legally. If you need workers' comp, motor vehicle accident, personal injury law, criminal law, call the best. David R. Cherry, the Cherry Law Firm. Again, his number 610-565-0300, cherryinjurylaw.com. Let me repeat that number since I butchered it. 610-565-0300, because Marshawn, you might need a lawyer after today. I'm just saying. Just saying. I don't mind holding a workout for Dekker, Culver, Johnson, and Tony Bradley. Whatever happened to Tony Bradley? I mean, he was somebody that we all wanted. If you got to go after a third star, you may have to go cheap. Yeah. But Dekker hasn't played in 6 years in the NBA. Some of these guys have played 1 or 2 years ago. Dekker hasn't played in 6 years. Abuse is driven by the desire for control to maintain power in the relationship and assume a position. Absolutely agree with that. It doesn't make it, it's not a good thing. I love jokes. Stop. I'm just passing over all of Marshawn's comments. I know it kills Maury seeing James underachieving with the Clippers. He doesn't want a star. He just wants to take Paul George from him. Is that why he's doing Paul George? Okay. Bryce recruits like the Army. Joel recruits like the Glee Club. I guess. Stop. Cherry bombs galore. I'm just trying to fire through here and get caught up on these comments. Everything bagel pizza. So a pizza bagel with an everything bagel. Interesting. Fire. I'll put this one. I'll put that up there. And I'll put that one up there. There you go. I appreciate that. So that's why they post the cherries in the chat. Yeah, because we do a cherry law firm ad read every single day. That's it. Maybe Miles has Cherry Law on retainer. I mean, if he comes to Philly, he'll need a lawyer on retainer. So, I mean, David R. Cherry could be his guy. But I think David R. Cherry has standards and wouldn't represent him. I'd like to think that. We're talking about signing Miles Bridges without any hesitation. We're not talking about it. I know it was an unpopular show title, and I got told from people I was starting clickbait shows, not on the show, but in comments I got on social media and DMs, when I said that LeBron James was the best free agent option for the Sixers. 1,000 times better option than Paul George. Who gives a crap with the circus? LeBron James is the second greatest basketball player of all time. He still plays at an all-star elite, borderline MVP level still. Joel Embiid does not know how to get out of the second round. You go get LeBron. It's still the answer to me. But that's how you get talent sometimes. Dekker is still talented, just not as talented. I don't know about that. You don't go find somebody that hasn't played basketball in 6 years and think he's just going to magically become good again. I still think the Dekker thing is overblown. I think it was just a favor for an agent. His agent probably represents a bunch of other players that the Sixers are interested in, and that's it. Who runs Liberty Ballers? Was it NBC? His sources say not. Okay, that's fine. And and I know Paul, through social media. We've interacted a bunch. The first rumor was they were. Then instantly a rumor says no. Look, let's hope Miles Bridges. Let's hope that today is the only day we ever have to mention Miles Bridges and the Sixers in the same conversation ever again. You like the video twice? You have two accounts. Pound that like, but no Miles. Yeah, if you don't hit the like button, that means you like Miles Bridges. If you don't hit like on this video and share on this video and subscribe, that means you support Miles Bridges. Fox's Pizza, new pizza, the everything crust. I still gotta look up that other kind of pizza everyone was talking about. Begins with a B, that pulled beef thing. Yeah, no, it's inexcusable. It is. It is. Call David with your injury. Cherry pop. Yeah. Um. Stop. Stop. He's going to work the bench now. These comments. What was the name? Rose. I love it. I love the name. Would you take Dekker or bring back Ben Simmons? Oh my God! Talk about a tough question. A guy that hasn't played in 6 years, or a guy that's never played in the NBA. I mean, well, theoretically has never played in the NBA. I actually would take Ben Simmons back at him. He's on an expiring contract. I would. I really would. You talk about a circus with LeBron James. Can you imagine the circus if the Sixers somehow pulled off a trade with the Nets to bring in Mikal Bridges and Ben Simmons to Philly? Could you imagine the circus? It'd be entertaining as hell. Yeah, probably. Probably right. If you get OG and trade for Caruso, Drummond, Levine, I'm happy. I don't want anything to do with Levine. And I think we got to realize that Andre Drummond is not the only big out there that could back up Joel Embiid. And Caruso, the Bulls have already said that they've turned down a top 10 pick for Caruso. I don't know if he's getting traded. Biryani. Yeah, exactly. Yeah. I still haven't gotten that, but you want me to go with a everything bagel pizza too. You're the only reason we're talking Miles Bridges in the first place. What? No, it's a rumor that's been circulating. Excuse me. Oh. I don't know. I said it before, guys. If you don't have allergies, count your blessings. Allergies are killer right now. They are good. We're working on it. Have you ever done stuffed crust? I haven't done stuffed crust. I don't have the right cheese for stuffed crust. Because you can't use shredded cheese on stuffed crust. You got to go out and buy like string cheese to really get it, or blocked or mozzarella cheese, which I don't get a big giant block to do it. Don't think LeBron is happening. I don't either. But I would still take that over every other idea we've talked about. Yeah, and Bronny's just a disaster. If you don't hit the like button and share this video, you're equivalent to Atlanta Falcons Michael Vick. Absolutely. Hitting the like button twice equals not hitting the like button at all. That is true. If you hit it twice, it means you liked it and then unliked it. Exactly. Dekker, but the Sixers love themselves a toxic. And see, maybe that's why players don't want to come here. Maybe it's not Joel Embiid. Maybe it's Daryl Morey. What did James Harden say and call Daryl Morey a liar? You don't see anybody on the Phillies, past or present, calling John Middleton or Dave Dombrowski liars. You don't hear anybody calling Howie Roseman a liar, but you hear it with the Sixers. And you just keep seeing people rotated through here. And they all don't. There's two common denominators, Daryl Morey and Joel Embiid. And Josh Harris, so three. One of them is the problem. Maybe all three of them are the problem. But you don't see those same problems with the Phillies. You just don't. And there's plenty of criticism. I mean, look at Nick Castellanos. He gets criticized all the time. 4 for 5 last night, game-winning double to walk-off win in Philly. Aaron Nola has been criticized his entire career in Philly. And he had big contract offers in free agency, but he wanted to stay in Philly. Yeah, we paid him handsomely, but he could have gotten big money elsewhere. Wanted to be here. So it's not the fans why people don't want to play with the Sixers. It's not the media. The media sucks. The mainstream media sucks. WWWIP. And the fanny packs, they suck. It's got to be a combination of Harris, Morey, and Embiid why free agents don't want to be here in Philly. That's right. If Brick Simmons can shoot free throws at 70%, I take him back. Look, I saw someone shared out his practice or his summer league rookie year highlight video, and it's a shame that Ben Simmons peaked his rookie year in summer league. But man, in summer league, Ben Simmons was something special, and that's why I put him above Joel Embiid at one point. Yeah. Does that mean smashed burgers are off the? Oh my God! terrible. Caitlin Clark is. You know what? I wouldn't be shocked if Caitlin Clark could beat Bronny James in a 1-on-1 to 11. Absolutely. Caitlin Clark's more marketable than Bronny. Bronny's got one thing: a world famous dad, and that's it. And his world famous dad is pushing him too far. James Harden also still got what he wanted. You can never please anyone who tolerates you in any relationship. Did you watch the Commies draft room video of Howie going after 40 to get Dejan? Oh, I did. It's funny as can be. I didn't say other GMs and teams like Howie Roseman, but Howie Roseman's way of doing business doesn't stop him from bringing people in. I mean, Howie Roseman always Saquon Barkley wanted to come here. Well, he wanted to stay in New York, but he wanted to come here next. I think Hassan Reddick wanted to stay here. Brandon Graham's coming back for another year. A.J. Brown wanted to be here long term. Just saying. It's really weird when you think about this. Like time 4 times: Facebook, YouTube, Twitter, and Twitch. We're not live on TikTok. I'm on TikTok at Beard and Knowledge. Edge of Philly Sports is on there, but we're not live streaming on there. They gotta really make live streaming easier for TikTok, because otherwise we'd be on there as well. Better playmaker, Tyrese or Caitlin Clark? Tyrese. I love Caitlin Clark. And I think the NBA, WNBA players and circus are doing her dirty in the sense of not embracing what she is. The jealousy from the players and not letting her, whether she's successful in her career or not, she's marketable, which brings in more dollars. I'm a business man. Caitlin Clark is best for business, a struggling business. A business that lost $500 million, I think I read last year. And you're not going to utilize her because you're jealous of her attention? It's a shame. Howie wears everybody down. He does. Has anyone who has played here talked bad about Joel, JJ, Jimmy, have been positive, Harden talked bad about him? That's a fair comment, Brett. So maybe that means it's not Joel. So maybe they don't want to come here because they're worried about Joel. But once they play with Joel, they like him, but then they leave because of Daryl Morey, Josh Harris, or whatever. I don't know. I don't know what the situation is. Who has the worst whistle, Maxey or Caitlin Clark? What? I don't even know what that means. Phillies have seemed to draw free agents ever since the bank was built. Absolutely. Elephant in the room. Absolutely. If the Sixers sign Miles Bridges, we can no longer say smash the like button. You guys in the jokes today, you're insane. Imagine Miles Bridges hits a timely 3-pointer in a massive game. Stop. Please be yeah. Philly fans most infamously known for throwing snowballs at Santa. Now has 2 Knicks in town, Nurse and Sirianni. First and foremost, can we address one final time the snowballs at Santa thing? It wasn't the real Santa Claus. It was a drunk fan dressed as St. Nick. It was one drunk fan that deserved it. Just so you know. It wasn't the real St. Nick. Just so you know. I think people often confuse that the fans were throwing the snowballs at the real Santa Claus. It wasn't the real Santa Claus. The real Santa Claus isn't in Philly. At that time of the year, he's prepping for Christmas. Okay? Just so you know. It made him look like the brother from Asking until he knew. I got to follow through on some comments here. Howie got the Cooper pick and 79 and 50 and 53. Yeah. Not sure if it was discussed here, but what was the thoughts on sending Rojas down? I did discuss it yesterday. It was the right move and the wrong move. The right move because Rojas needs every day at bats. He's got to get better at the plate, more disciplined, better at bunting, more controlled in the outfield. The wrong move because the reasoning wasn't that. The reasoning was because they didn't want to risk losing Dahl, Pache, or Whit Merrifield to waivers. And yes, I know, to that idiot that called me out for putting all of them together, DFAing all 4 of them. I know you're not DFAing Rojas. To that idiot, I don't think he's realized that I've muted him and don't respond to anything he says ever. Anyway, if the reason was to get him more refined at the plate and in the field, great. But one of the main reasons was because they were scared to lose those other three. And those other three are useless players. Just saying. I don't care about losing those three guys. Jaden Springer's an NBA champion and Drew Holiday 2 times. The process was successful for that. Got 2 guys NBA championships. I'm surprised these other GMs keep answering Howie's calls. Yeah. It's like, seriously. Eventually, Howie Roseman's going to have to stop being the GM just because no one's going to do business with him. They're going to have to fire him, but pay him secretly to work behind the scenes. Have someone else do the work for him. Phil doesn't like violence. He's a businessman. Blood is a big expense. It's a true statement. It is. Who doesn't get calls from the rest? Maxey or Clark? Both of them don't get the calls the right way. She's getting rookie treatment. Cole, the most even-keeled person in the LA Phillies, drilled Bryce rookie year because he was a hot shot. I guess. But it's a different situation because the WNBA is not a real league. And what I mean by that is they haven't ever made money. They are subsidized by the NBA, and they still lose hundreds of millions of dollars. So when you're in that situation and you've got a marketable person like Caitlin Clark, screw integrity, screw the rookie treatment, screw letting her earn her stripes. You utilize her to make money, to grow the league, to turn a corner in the league. But they're not doing that. The Santa that got thrown at says he deserved that. Yeah, exactly. Honestly, Santa deserved it. I asked for a Sixers championship. Yeah, I don't get what I asked for Santa or from Santa every year. So the Santa was a Cowboys fan. Exactly. Joe with the LinkedIn profile picture. Is that a LinkedIn profile picture? He does look very professional in it. Santa got mixed up in the rackets and got what's coming to him. Yeah. Third, sir. Third what? Sorry, I missed what. Third what? It was Santa all along. Yeah. I think the clock is ticking on both Pache and Dahl. Dahl might go. Dahl, when you see him at the plate, you're like, oh my God, this guy. He strikes me as shit. What was that big power hitting first baseman we brought in a few years back? He had a lot of home runs in the American League. He was a first baseman. He's a big guy. He looks like a guy that could hit 40 home runs and hit 200. But he's just a bad baseball player. And Clemens, yeah. Pache or Dahl will probably go first, then Pache, then Witt. But Witt ain't doing anything either. Yeah. Howie should have a few different phone numbers so teams don't. Yeah. When they see a 215, I would just be like, click, hang up. Godfather references are always fine. Even if I don't address them, I say them. Although that was, Caitlin Clark is clearly getting targeted by absolutely 1,000%. It's the players are jealous as bleepity bleep of Caitlin Clark's attention. But instead, they should be embracing it. Why? Because they're making better money because of her, or they will. They're getting private charter flights because of her. The league's still going to lose money this year. But they could be turning a corner if they put her up there. If they propped her up there. It's different if the WNBA was a profitable league, a successful league, but it's not. So make it a successful league, then have some. Like, I'm willing to turn the blind eye to integrity and putting Caitlin Clark up there and putting her front and center every day, giving her the easiest possible schedule, like everything. Find a way to change the defensive rules so she can score 40 points a game. Then I know it sounds weird, but it's just what I feel. Wedding photo. It's a wedding photo. Okay, there you go. Happy anniversary. Darren Ruff. What about that? Darren Ruff was rough. Darren Ruff was not who I'm talking about, though. Adam Dunn is who I'm thinking of. When I see David Dahl bat, I thought of Adam Dunn the other. Was it Adam Dunn? I think it was Adam Dunn who played for the Phillies late in his career. Nope, it was when he was talking with Michael and making deal with the other Duns. Yeah, absolutely. Scott Steiner. Big Papa Pump. Not the best math student in the world, but a great. He is the big bad booty daddy, okay? Not a math student, but the big bad booty daddy. Yeah. What's up, Uriah? Women's hoops have come a long way, still an uphill climb, though. And that's fine. I get that. But if they compromised a little bit their integrity and put Caitlin Clark front and center and didn't treat her like a rookie because she's got to earn her stripes, she is the key to unlocking what could be a very profitable league. There is a desire for the NBA to be better, WNBA to be better. Don't try to retcon the Godfather canon in the chat. Yeah. I'm sure if Philadelphia had a WNBA team, we'd want them to let. It's true. But you know what? They would if you let Caitlin Clark cook, there would be more expansion on the horizon. We might finally get that WNBA team in Philly, which I would love to see. Being left off the USA roster is such a bad move for on and off, for the off the court reasons for sure. I mean, Caitlin Clark, in the words of Stephanie McMahon, is best for business. Just saying. Lots of WNBA games on TV now. No coincidence. Absolutely. Barbara, and I had to address you by your full name, Barbara, for this one. I have watched more WNBA games, not just highlights on Twitter, more games, not straight through, but games to watch Caitlin Clark. And it's funny because they're embracing Angel Reese way more than Caitlin Clark. She's playing the villain. And she's playing the villain fine. And she's embracing being the villain. But they're not embracing the hero. And sometimes, heroes become villains. Maybe Caitlin Clark needs to become the villain. Embrace the hatred, Caitlin Clark. Turn heel. Let Angel Reese turn face. That's a wrestling reference, Barb, if you don't get it. Maybe that's the answer. Maybe she's got to drill a three-pointer and then flick off whoever's defending her when she does it. I don't know. I gotta mute my mic for a second here, guys. That one was the worst of them all so far. I can't. The allergies, man. Guys, real quick before we get back to the comments, we're already over an hour and I've only done one ad read, so I got to bring up SherryTickets.com. Great moments don't just happen; they happen with you in the crowd. SherryTickets.com is easy to use and no hidden fees. Why would you use the other resale ticket sites when you buy a $50 ticket and it turns into $200? Not with SherryTickets.com. The price you see is the price you pay. Use special promo code EOP10 at checkout. Get you 10% off with no hidden fees. Need a personal touch, 610-494-5050. Just make sure you mention EOP and Trending the AM when you call them. Theater tickets, concert tickets. You want those Justin Timberlake tickets so you can heckle him or to watch him, who's been in the news lately. Give them a call. You can find all kinds of tickets, not just sporting events. SherryTickets.com. Why overpay with the rest? Save with the best. SherryTickets.com, EOP10, and, of course, our great friends at PhillySportsTrips.com. Brazil, August 30th, September 8th to see our Birds take on the Green Bay Packers week 1. They are the premier travel and tailgating company there is out there. Self and full travel packages, flights, tailgates, you name it, in town, on the road for any of your favorite Philadelphia sports teams, not just in Brazil. Here's something fun. Tailgate Italian Heritage Celebration, August 14th at the bank. I'm going to look into that, actually. Pittsburgh, trip there. They're already taking deposits. I'm going to work on this. I haven't been to Clearwater in 3 years. It's time for me to get back to Clearwater, my favorite city in this country, Clearwater Beach, that is. So I think it's time for that. Trip down to Miami. Maybe you'll see Steve Fuentes and Patty Bernard down there, and they're doing a Union postgame show upcoming here on EOP. Of course, all the other Eagles trips that they got, takeover of Tampa, takeover of Baltimore, of course, takeover of Big D. PhillySportsTrips.com. Sign up. Let them know you heard about them right here, EOP, Trending the AM. Guys, back to the comments here. Scott Skyner was goated for botching. I came, I saw, I conquered. Yeah. The Steiner recliner, what did they call the Hurricane Rana he would do off the top rope. What did they call that? I forget what that move was called, but that was pretty awesome. You do the push-ups in the ring. the flex. Yeah. Blame Dana Taurasi, who is 41, taking Caitlin's spot. Yeah. Not necessary. Not necessary. I would rather rewatch or watch reruns of Alf than the WNBA. Sorry to hear that. I was wondering what that meant. Yeah, sorry. Faces are good guys, Barbara, in wrestling. Heels are the bad guys in wrestling. Um, and you always got bad guys seeing the light of day and becoming good guys, and good guys snapping and becoming bad guys. So, Caitlin Clark should turn heel, turn bad guy. Maybe that's the answer. Caitlin has pushed people over and did the "you can't see me." She did. I have not seen that. She's got the villain in her. Okay. So she's playing the Stone Cold role, the cool bad guy at times. Maybe the Frankensteiner. That was Scott Steiner's Hurricane Run off the. I love seeing a 290-pound man do a Hurricane Run off the top rope. The Frankensteiner. Until that one time I saw him like 2 years ago do it, and he landed on his head, and I thought he broke his neck, but he doesn't have a neck. It's just, it just goes right from his shoulders right to his head. Union match tonight is on regular cable. Tonight, I've complained about not being able to watch the Union. I have a chance to watch the Union tonight. Will I? I don't know. The Phillies are pretty damn good. Will the Phillies play day game today or night game? That'll be the determination whether I watch the Union tonight. Phillies are 1 o'clock. Maybe I will, actually. Maybe I will watch the Union game tonight. 1 o'clock game for the Phillies. They got Matt Waldron for the Padres going against Ranger Suarez, the front runner betting-wise for Cy Young. Maybe I will watch a little Union soccer tonight. Alf is not the bee's knees. I never found Alf funny. Boston has won a total of 39 championships. Dude, that makes me just want to throw up. Thanks for ruining my day, mister. Yes, happy anniversary to Joe. I'm really far behind there. Only wrestler I know is The Rock. He was really popular years ago. He's still really popular. Great actor. Well, not a great actor. Famous actor, I should say. And, I would vote for him to be president of the United States if he ran. Steinerizer was a great tag team finisher, too. The Steiner brothers, man. It's crazy. I've watched some highlights of the Steiner brothers lately when they were young, when they were first coming up, making their name, when they signed with the WWF at the time. How did Rick Steiner not become famous? Like, Rick Steiner had a good career, and the diehards know him. But Scott Steiner blew up, figuratively and physically. Rick Steiner did not. But he had that, he had some personality to him. Interesting. His nephew does a cool Frank Braun Breaker, yeah. Braun is a star in the making, yeah, for sure. Braun Breaker is. The dude, and I don't know if it's accurate, but they talk about it on Raw all the time, how he runs the ropes at almost 25 miles an hour. That's insane. He is fast, athletic. He's got personality. He is raw and green. And the fact that they're pushing him really far right now, I don't agree with it, Eric. I think he's too green for it. But they're going to hotshot him. They're going to strap that rocket ship to the back of Braun Breaker. I hate made-up names for wrestlers. Like, why can't Braun Breaker go with his Steiner name? Like, I don't need it. It's like when they had Joe Hennig, Mr. Perfect Son, and they made him Michael McGillicuddy. Like, couldn't just call him Joe Hennig? Why? We all knew who he was. Like the Wyatt, Bray Wyatt, we knew he was IRS, his son. Why couldn't he go by Wyndham? It is what it is. Rick Steiner couldn't talk. Yeah, he lost a promo battle to Chucky the Dog. Yeah, I get that. But that's what managers are for. Scott Steiner and Val Venus will go down as the most underrated. We're got a Val Venus shout out on Trending in the AM. How about that? The money shot, which his finishing move was called. Just basically a top rope splash. Hello, ladies. That wasn't a very good impersonation, but that's the best I could do. Dogface Gremlin was a great 80s name. Yeah, he was the Dogface Gremlin. I forgot that nickname. With a nickname like the Dogface Gremlin, how can't you be good? Usain Bolt runs at 24 miles an hour. I think okay. Well, he hasn't run that. I think they said 23.2 or 22.3 miles an hour he runs the ropes. They might be BSing a little bit. Usain Bolt, 24 miles an hour? Yeah, then that's the case. I wonder if Val watches the WNBA. Oh, my God. And they call you the Big Show. If you know, you know. Yeah, well, yeah. Guys, I don't know. Why do we always get stuck on these random topics like this? Like, I don't know where we go wrong on this show every day or where we go right. Today's show is just full of off-color topics by Marshawn and random topics. What started as a pretty deep conversation. But anyway, I want to shout out Dolan's Bar real quick. For 65 years, they've been the quintessential Irish-American dive bar in the Delaware County area in Ridley Park, 24 East Sellers Avenue. DolansBar.com. Great food, great times happen for 65 years now. So check them out. Tell PJ you heard about them right here on Train the AM on EOP. And tell PJ you want Train the AM live, 8 a.m. one day from Dolan's Bar. So make sure you do that. What am I doing? I'm talking with my hands and you can't see my face. And guys, do me a favor. Make sure you're locked in, liking and subscribe to Edge of Philly Sports because Sunday, June 23rd, live from the Irish Rover Station House in Langhorne, PA. Chet and the crew, the Elder Statesman, will be celebrating 500 episodes of Philly Press Box Radio. Joe Watson, Jim Jackson, Lou Nolan will be his guests, their guests on the show. Also, Chet will be on here live Friday at 8:30 to promote that, but also talk about what it's like to be 500 episodes deep into a podcast. Some of the great interviews he's done. Yes, we will ask him Godfather Goodfellas as well. Maybe we'll talk some beer because he's a big beer aficionado. But Chet will be on this show, making his Trending in the AM debut Friday morning at 8:30 for a little bit. So you're going to want to stay tuned. But again, look at this schedule. Look at this schedule of shows right here on Edge of Philly Sports, guys. So make sure you're locked in. You're hitting the like button. I never did a reset. You're watching Trend in the AM, which is every single morning at 8 a.m. But there's 7-day-a-week programming on this channel. So make sure you hit that subscribe button, guys. I'd greatly appreciate it. If you remember the WCW versus NWO, I remember it. I had it. I was a big N64 fan. I love that video game system. Emoji gang, wake up with the I don't even know. I in my comments here, like what you guys see the emojis. I've got a YouTube screen up here, just to make sure everything looks okay. I could see the emojis over there on my screen. Other than the cherry bombs, some of them pop up, some of them don't. The Al Snow character with the mannequin head and his entrance music was great. Head. Who wants head? Everybody wants head. Look, if you haven't watched it, I forget what it was called. Netflix did a documentary show on OVW, the former developmental territory of the WWE, and Al Snow runs it. And it was a fantastic. It was like 8 episodes. I forget what it was called. It was on Netflix though. Fantastic. If you're even a slight wrestling fan or you want to see behind the scenes of the wrestling business, check that show starring Al Snow basically out. I think Val's properly look his work as Sean Morley, yeah, and the right to censor gimmick that he was part of. Did he? I don't know if that's true or not. Yeah. Hello, ladies. Yeah, he would be so canceled today. Absolutely. What does everybody want? What does everybody need? Yeah, exactly. Phil, could you please say if you feel the Phillies should try to upgrade the outfield? I don't have to say it. I know they have to. I know they will. There is zero doubt the Phillies will make a trade for an outfielder sooner or later. In my scenario, Bruce, they maybe even trade for 2. A starting star outfielder and a rotational outfielder. I see it. I know they're testing Mundo Sosa out in left field during batting practice, but you're not going to win a World Series with Mundo Sosa starting left field for the first time in his career. Well, I think it's his first time. You need a superstar outfielder. That is the number 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 priority. And again, I don't care who the prospect is. If you can get the best possible outfielder on the market, you trade the farm system. Andrew Painter? Sure. I don't care. Prospects are that. Prospects. I am all for getting another outfielder. And I'm not waiting till the trade deadline, Bruce. I'm doing it now. If I could get a deal done with the White Sox or the Houston Astros or whoever right now, I'm doing it. I'm beating the market to the punch. You wait and another team, another playoff team has a big injury, then the price of the outfielders go up. You get the deal done now. while the price is manageable. You do it. Could you say who you feel they should trade in exchange for a good? I think it's fair. Who was it? Aiden Miller. They just upped Aiden Miller to high single A. I know he's one of their hottest rising. I don't care. He's a second base shortstop. We got Trey Turner and Bryson Stott locked in the middle of our infield with Bryce Harper. Our infield is locked for the next 5 to 7 years. So Aiden, sure. If he's going to get you the best possible outfielder and you're going to give me the best guaranteed chance at winning a World Series, I don't care what prospect you are, I'm making the deal. Yes. Yeah. Sorry, you guys. I love when you guys should chit chat in the comment section. I think it's great. ECW Al Snow is money. Yeah. I'm doing better as things are getting. Yeah. Sorry, I don't know what's going on in the chat there. Yeah, we'll just fire through them. I feel you are right and smart for saying that we need to make. Yeah, I'm not waiting. I might not be smart. Don't ever confuse me with smart. I'm not. I'm just a good guesser. But I hate when teams in the NBA, the NFL, the MLB wait till the last second to make deals, because then you make rash deals and you overpay. Because you want that guy. You start the negotiations now. You get the deal done now. You get it done. Raven, Al Snow, the franchise art. Yeah. Raven is one of my favorite, most underrated wrestlers of all time. FYI, I think Raven, fantastic. Alec Boehm is fourth in Major League Baseball in All-Star voting right now. While some of the All-Star voting is a little bogus right now, the fact that someone like Rojas would make the All-Star team or Castellanos would right now, it's kind of bogus. But Alec Boehm deserves and will be the starting third baseman for the National League in the All-Star game. Hands down, no doubt it. First and third base will be starters from the Philadelphia Phillies in the All-Star game. Price should go down in a month once more teams leave playoff contention. That's true. But if a playoff team also suffers a catastrophic injury, then the price goes up. Just saying. Phil is smart for not liking Orange Cassidy. Oh, man. I am not a genius. I'm far from it. The best part about getting the deal done now is that gives the player time to gel with a new team. That's really important. Waiting for the end can cause issues. Absolutely. Plus, why wait? Look, Rojas, Pache, Sosa, they're not going to magically turn into star players in left field. Marsh is a good player, but Marsh is your best outfielder right now. I know Castellanos had a really good game last night, but he's overpaid for the production he puts out there. It should be Castellanos, your second best outfielder, Marsh, your third best outfielder. You got to go out and get an outfielder that is better than everybody else on this team in the outfield. You do it. And if that's Juan Soto, even without a contract extension, go get him. If you can give up one top 5 prospect, just one, and then whatever else, and bring in Soto for the stretch run, would you do it? I mean, I would. Why not? I mean, you can't go out and sign every $300 million player, but for the stretch run, for a rental, I'll give up Abel and another prospect for Juan Soto in a heartbeat. Hell, I would throw in Brandon Marsh, too. Hell, I would throw in Rojas for Juan Soto just as a rental right now. I was a big WCW guy. I really was. Mitch, I feel Phil is smart on a lot of things. Hey, look, don't worry about who I am. Bruce, if this show is about you people, the fans. My opinions don't matter. My knowledge don't matter. I'm just here to give you a platform to have your opinions heard. That's all this show's about, where your opinions actually matter. So tell your friends. Hit that like button, that subscribe, that follow button. Tell your friends. This morning show, you don't need to listen to WWWIP. You don't. You don't need to listen to the fanny packs talk about Jalen Hurts versus Nick Sirianni again. You don't. This show right here. I feel Nick is a good player. He could be on fire sometimes, but I feel his slumps are. Nick Castellanos' slumps are long. They are. The voice to text feature isn't great with a Delco accent. Yeah, I don't ever use. Dude, I use the voice because when I'm doing like my GPS out in the delivery or something like that, and I do my Delco accent, and it just, I'm driving 47 hours away for a delivery. I appreciate that, Bruce. I do. WCW, NWO, Wolfpack were the best heels in the business, of course. You got to spell it right. It's DUB, EYEPEE. That's how you spell WWIP. Or Orange Cassidy. I'll take neither. Scott Hall kicked it off. Dude, Scott Hall to me, not on my Mount Rushmore of wrestlers all time, but I guarantee you, if I had to pick write a top 10 of the best wrestlers of all time, Scott Hall / Razor Ramon would be in my top 10. Razor Ramon was first of his kind, and literally, because he was the first person to start the NWO angle, he literally helped revolutionize and make wrestling cool. That's right, hit that like button. I'm sure there's not enough likes on this video. Phil and Mitch, I have to go. Hey, well, have a great day, Bruce. We'll see you again. What's up, Butterfly? How you doing? Which 376ers would you bring back? Go Melton, Batum, and Oubre. Want to bring back or realistically think will be brought back are two totally different conversations. Melton, I'm off on unless it's a short one-year deal because of the back. Batum, if he wants to play basketball again, is number one on my list. I love him coming off the bench. I would love Oubre. I think he gets priced out. I probably see them bringing back Campaign, but Campaign just got in trouble. So now that I don't know. I'd be intrigued with Buddy Hield back, but I think he's going to want a big contract that we shouldn't bring him back on. So I think it's up in the air which three. But it all comes down to contracts with the bench guys, with the rotational guys. A lot of those rotational guys are seeking bigger deals. Only thing I'll say, I don't want Kyle Lowry back. I don't care what other guys you want. As long as it's not Kyle Lowry, we could be on the same page. Stop. Stop. I showed my son Razor Ramon versus Shawn Michaels' first ladder match. He said, dude, it's still one of the best of all time. Like, young wrestling fans that are used to wrestling of today can relate to that ladder match being amazing. Plain and simple. Sixers workout Baylor, big man. Thanks for trying to get me to say this name. Yves, Missy, I think. Yeah, look, if the Sixers use pick 16, which I think all these workouts are all just smoke and mirrors because they are going to trade that pick. The only downside is the draft is literally next week. Are the Sixers going to be able to work out a trade of that pick 16 by next week? I don't know. But I highly expect them to trade that pick. But if they don't, a backup big man probably is the way they go. Cut to 3 months from now, and Lowry is the only guy re-signed, and Phil just, dude, if Kyle Lowry is signed, and that's the best move that Morey makes, man, dude, you want to see grouchy Phil? Let Kyle Lowry be a big part of the Sixers team next year. Campaign over, absolutely. Even with his legal issues that are popping up. What Phillies players? There could be up to 9. I mean, Bohm, Harper, Will, without a doubt. Right now, JT might. Trey Turner, maybe if he stays hot, could get in at the last second. You got to think Zach Wheeler, Ranger Suarez, both do it. That's 4 or 5 right there. In the bullpen, you can make a case for Hoffman, Strahm, Kirkring. You can make a case for a lot of Phillies. Right now, a lot of them are leading the votes, but you can make a case for 5. But there will be 2 starters in Alec Bohm and Bryce Harper. And right now, Ranger Suarez should be the starting pitcher in the All-Star game. I'm not going to lie. I wouldn't be shocked with that. Maniacs in our group name is all good. Butterfly, I don't know what's going on here with you guys here. I don't know what you guys are all talking about there. Well, there goes Pascal. He is staying with the Pacers. Wow, breaking news. Thanks, Joe. 4 years, $189 million for Pascal Siakam. And I'm not shocked there.
And that's about the deal that OG Anunoby will get from the Knicks probably too, to stay there. It's a lot of money for a number 2 or a number 3. But again, this goes back to the problem with the NBA. The teams give really good players great player contracts. It's not a knock on Pascal. He's a really good player, but he is not an elite player. 4 years, $189 million, that's an elite player. Bad drafts always produce good talent late. Absolutely can see that. I didn't want him either. I did. Yves Missi is a fellow Cameroon basketball player like Embiid. I love his game. I know nothing about his game. I was talking with my man Ryan Coyle from Fox the Gambler yesterday. I know nothing about a single player in the draft, not just because there's a lack of star power, but because I'm so convinced the Sixers don't actually draft a player that I have no clue in this draft this year. I know he's old, but what about Charlie Blackmon as a trade target? I don't know what Charlie Blackmon's doing this year. 3 years ago, I would have been on board with it. I don't know what Charlie Blackmon's up to success-wise, health-wise, and all that. But that would being that said, we're in the final few minutes here, guys, and I totally missed this note. I had another conversation. We spent so much time on random topics today. I have a Ben Simmons versus Carson Wentz poll running on Twitter. And if you follow me on Twitter, @BeardedKnowledge, you can vote. We'll bring it up on Friday because tomorrow, again, don't forget, I expect the Core 12 to show up and show out for my man, Big Al Zafiri, who's sitting in the chair tomorrow for me. Not this chair, literally, figuratively, as the hostess. I got my monthly Amazon order of 165 pizzas that got to be made and delivered by 10 a.m. tomorrow. So that will be taking up my morning. But Big Al will be here. I don't know what he's talking about, but I expect y'all to show up and show out for my man tomorrow. Yeah, I don't even know one name. I don't know any of the names because I really, truly don't see a scenario where the Sixers, it's not the Sixers. It's Daryl Morey. Daryl Morey is not looking to build a team for the future or to find depth in a draft. Daryl Morey's moves are trade for big names, give out huge contracts, and find vet minimum players to fill in the periphery. That's it. That's what he thinks is going to win. The problem is that's not what's going to win us an NBA championship. Plain and simple. It's sad. It's a shame. It's not right, but that's the way it is. Big Al in the house. He'll probably be in his studio. Big Al luckily has his own personal studio. A little too far for me. I wish the studio was closer to me because I would do these shows from the professional studio of EOP, but I can't be driving an hour every single morning back and forth. Sorry. Wentz over Ben unless it's off-season workout. So the question is, and you're all going to answer it right now, so I wasn't even going to ask the question. I'll save it for Friday when the poll is over, and I can go through all the results. The poll was, who will we be talking about, positively or negatively, more in 20 years about? Ben Simmons and the what-ifs, or Carson Wentz and the what-ifs? Carson Wentz was a great player until he wasn't. Carson Wentz helped us win a Super Bowl. Ben Simmons could have been elite, but never put the work in. I think it's an interesting conversation. We'll save that for Friday. 76ers, we talked about that early in the show. We literally spent the first 30 minutes on it. It's a terrible idea, but it's also right up the alley of what Daryl Morey might do as a fallback option when he realizes everybody else is just using the Sixers for leverage. Hell, Miles Bridges might be leveraging the Sixers. Well, I appreciate that, Adam. You always support everybody, and I appreciate you. We all support you for that. Joe Embiid has my Sixers stuck sign, old guys or bust. Simmons played in more playoff games. I see what you're doing there. That's fine. Carson Wentz will get the more positive consideration. Absolutely. We'll talk about this on Friday. Remind me about this, but we got to wrap it up. Guys, you've watched Trending in the AM again today. Every single day right here on the Edge of Philly Sports, 8 a.m. to 9:30, Monday through Friday. The #1 sports show in Philadelphia. The first daily YouTube show in Philadelphia. The only show where your opinions matter. Guys, please, 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 I beg you, hit like, hit subscribe, hit follow, hit share. Tell a friend, tell one, tell all to get in on this. This is not something new. It was 2.5, 3 years running doing this show. We need more people tuned in. I want to go to 2 hours. I really do. I want this show to go longer. But I need you people to help get the algo up, to get more people. And every day, we've got new people in the conversation every day. Wentz was our bride. Simmons was a side piece. Losing Wentz hurt more than. Maybe. We're going to we'll pick this up. I'm not even reading these. Thank you very much, Adam. Muchas gracias. That's right. Ring that bell. Thank you, Barb. Fantastic show. Sorry to disappoint you with my pork roll opinions, but that's the way it is. With that being said, guys, I got to wrap it up. Time to go to work. Stay cool out there. It's going to be a hot-ass day again, guys, as it is going to be for the next 5 or 6 days. What does it say? Spike that like. That's right. It says smash that like button, spike that like button, whatever you want to call it. With that being said, guys, go Birds. Ring that damn bell. Let's get the sweep of the Padres. And as always, guys, bubbles up.